Time then, before we hand over to Gabby to talk transfers, and Ben Jacobs joins us once again. Good afternoon, Ben.
Afternoon, how are you?
Not too bad, thank you.
Good, thank you.
We were talking earlier on about Eze as a Tottenham and Arsenal fan. Myself and Alex covet him, but should it not come off, certainly for Arsenal, they're looking at Ademola Lookman, who's not having the best of relationships with Atalanta at the moment.
Yeah, Ademola Lookman has actually handed in a transfer request. My understanding is that he wants the Inter move, and there's an offer on the table in the region of 45 million euros, including the add-ons. And Lookman thinks the Inter move and also the fee put down, which has been rejected by Atlanta, is fair, and he wants to leave. And he's pushing to stay in Italy. Could Arsenal come in? Potentially. They appreciate him, but it falls into the category of Rodrigo or Anthony Gordon or even Rafa Leao. These are names that Arsenal like, but two things have to happen. The first, an outgoing, either Gabriel Martinelli, who Arsenal have kind of said all summer is not for sale, or Leandro Trossard. And then they have to decide whether or not bringing in a versatile attacker either stifles Noni Madueke, who the expectation is will get time on the right and the left, or alternatively stops Ethan Nwaneri, who's just signed a new 5-year deal, getting opportunities on the right or through the centre. So this is kind of an internal discussion where Arsenal are putting the brakes on adding another attacker for now. They're focused on outgoings, and we'll have to wait and see whether anything develops further down the line. But at the same time, Inter haven't given up, and Lookman is really pushing for that move.
Nicholas Jackson's an interesting one. You kind of get the feeling as it unfolds that he's going to be a last day of the window signing, because he's not anybody's first choice by the look of it, but plenty of people may end up signing him, whether that's in the Premier League or beyond.
Yeah, I think Nicholas Jackson wants to leave Chelsea now, and Chelsea are willing to sanction a Nicholas Jackson sale because it's that two in every position. So if Xavi Simons comes and Cole Palmer, Esteval Pedro Neto on the right, and then on the left, the plan in an ideal world is Jamie Gittins, who's there, plus Alejandro Garnacho. And that means you're in a situation where Nicholas Jackson at number 9 is behind Liam Delap, new signing, and João Pedro, who, yes, is versatile, but the player himself sees his favoured position as number 9. Jackson wants to play as a starter, and this is where we have to understand, is there a market opportunity? Because Chelsea's valuation is very high at around 80 million, but I suspect for the right kind of deal, the price or structure may be a little bit more flexible than at the moment we think it is. Nicholas Jackson's been linked with Newcastle. I would say they've got several targets. Yohan Wissa's the first that they're really pushing for, and there'll likely be one more. That could be Nicholas Jackson. We know they like Ollie Watkins. Samu at Porto has been discussed as well, and it's very much a series of moving parts at the moment, but Wissa's the one that I think Newcastle will move quickly on, but there'll likely be another number 9 coming through the door as well. And for Jackson, it just feels like an exit's going to suit all parties due to the player desire to be a starter and the fact that Chelsea can bring in a significant fee, which ultimately balances their books. Because even though they're PSR compliant, remember, the underrated thing in all of this is they had a settlement with UEFA. And in that settlement, one of the terms is that they have to have a net positive balance for so-called A-list players. And in short and in layman's terms, that means if they don't balance their books for UEFA purposes, when they come to register their Champions League squad for A-list players in September, if it isn't a net positive balance, then they'll only be able to register players in their Conference League A-list squad, and all these new signings that have come since will not be Champions League eligible. And this is why Chelsea have been focused on a flurry of outgoings, less for PSR and more to make sure that they can field the strongest possible Champions League squad heading into the new season.
So do you think, Ben, then that obviously with Chelsea probably needing to sell Jackson, and that would see them probably likely lower that 80 million asking price?
I think so, although obviously if you look at Brian and Mbeumo, 71 million, Benjamin Sesko, 85 million euros, Chelsea are probably well within their rights to say Nico Jackson has got into double figures in both of his Premier League seasons. He's proven, he's instant, he's young, there's a high ceiling there. But if you think about the desire to suit all parties and the fact that these deals can be structured to be add-on heavy or with sell-ons, I think there's a chance the price drops. But I don't think it's a deal, as some have suggested, that's going to be done at 55 or 60 million, but somewhere between 60 and 80 million, I think there's a deal there to be had.
Is Garnacho to Chelsea closer to being done than ever before, Ben?
I mean, they haven't formally bid, and we know that Manchester United have this asking price of 50 million. Chelsea are starting more like 30, 35 million. But I think the suggestion that Garnacho is either going to go to Chelsea, his only choice away from Old Trafford, or stay, and it's a straight choice, feels a little bit misrepresented, because Garnacho is done at Manchester United. Manchester United want to sell Garnacho. Garnacho didn't enjoy playing in the Amorim system in a central role. He's not going to get that many opportunities on the left-hand side. And remember, Cunha can go left or central, and Bumo's come in central. And as a result, it feels like if Garnacho stayed, his minutes would diminish significantly in a World Cup year. And this is why I think, again, a bit like Nicholas Jackson, it's going to suit all parties. Manchester United can get their pure profit on the books, and also the wage off their wage bill. And from Chelsea's point of view, like I said before, they can have Gittins Garnacho on that left-hand side. I think Chelsea are going to be flexible here. So Man United are firm. They want their 50 million and they want their permanent sale. I think Chelsea would be happy to do another Jadon Sancho type deal. Try before you buy with an obligation, but with some kind of override. And that's because Giovanni Quenda on the left is also arriving in a year's time. Tyreek George is still there. And the other thing is that if Esteval Willian lives up to his billing and Cole Palmer's still the 10, you might find Esteval is on the right, and then Pedro Neto, who was outstanding at the Club World Cup, could also go for that left-hand side too. So Chelsea would be prepared to entertain lots of different structures, but at the end of the day, I think Manchester United want a permanent exit, and my expectation is that Garnacho is a Chelsea player before this window shuts.
Excellent. Thank you, Ben, as always.
Cheers, Ben.
Cheers, guys.
Yes, Ben Jacobs with the latest on the transfer market. Transfer Insiders, of course, back on Monday. And all the information's at talksport.com. We've got all the transfer info there. And that is just about us, Alex. It's been a pleasure working with you the last 3 days.
It.
I've enjoyed it. See, Tottenham and Arsenal fans can get on.
We can get on during pre-season.
It is possible, that's right, until it actually starts for real. But you're back tomorrow morning with Max on the warm-up, and then you'll be here on Monday with Max as well.
I will be.
Fantastic.
Very much looking forward to it.
Hopefully,
thank you so much.
See you soon. Just a reminder, the last leg's back in October.
October, mate. Yeah.
Usual time, usual place.
Yeah. So looking forward to it.
Good.
Yeah, all the way through.
Well, I would say enjoy the season, but if you said that to me, you wouldn't mean it either. So
no, we can say it in
we can say just as a nicety.
Yeah, it's a nice
without
me.
me.
Enjoyed the season, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So coming up next here on TalkSport, Adeola Deeper and Gabby Bonglahor bring you Drive. We've got the return of the Championship from 7 tonight. Birmingham City versus Ipswich Town. A whole host of games for you this weekend. Don't forget the Sports Bar weekend with Majestic and Carlton Cole. You can get your calls in tonight with the boys on all the big stories of the day. Have a great weekend.
Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons 1 till 4 on AM, on DAB, via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker. TalkSport.